try to show my grind, but I'm the one who liquidates. Charts look like a murder scene, every candle sealed your fate. You still chasing pumps, man, you trading like a child. I be out here selling tops while you buying into wild. Your risk management is weak, boy, your stop loss is a joke. I see you cutting losses quick, I just went all in, you broke. I got that big spread energy, I take my feels with pride. You praying for a reversal, bitch, I'm already outside. Get that money, flip it, stack it, print it till they call it fraud. Y'all still trading scared, I put my fucking life on God. Facts. Ain't no patience, I need profits, cash me out or cash me dead. Only time I cut a trade is when it's cooking past the red. Quit trading penny stocks, you weed motherfucker playing with that lunch money. I trade like a gun runner, you out here chasing pumps like some degenerate simp. I'm stacking so much cash my broker think I run a blimp. Oh, you got a hot tip? Man, that shit is straight up fiction. I shorted your whole watch list, now your calls need a mortician. You watching anime while praying for a moonshot trade. I just made your month's rent while you begging for a raise. You still trading biotech, boy, that's pure hallucination. You buying every dip like it's your waifu's dedication. I'm out here playing big boy levels, ripping hedge fund throats. You still playing pink sheets, man, go fucking sell your coats. Get that money, flip it, stack it, print it till they call it fraud. Y'all still trading scared, I put my fucking life on God. Facts. Ain't no patience, I need profits, cash me out or cash me dead. Ooh. Only time I cut a trade is when it's cooking past the red. Get that money, max the leverage, take the risk, don't never fold. If I lost, I double down, now my P&L a gold. Y'all still paper-handed trades, I treat this shit like war. I don't check no indicators, I just check what's in my day. They tried to take me out, they tried to time the top. They thought I'd blow my bag, I'm rich. Boy, I just bought your job. They tried to take me out, they tried to time the top. They thought I'd blow my bag, I'm richer. Boy, I just bought your job.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where we're about to get into the final week of trading in the month of August. It flew by. I had this weird realization over the weekend when I was crushing a couple Hugo Spritzes that the summer came and left like it was nothing. I cannot believe we are at the end of August. Kind of crazy. You know what else is crazy is that I have a spidey sense that all the trades I made on Friday are going to end up costing me a lot of money. Now, folks, if you were paying attention to Friday, you know that we were kind of down, and then all of a sudden on Friday when Jerome Powell at the Jackson Hole Symposium was basically saying, yeah, I am open to a rate cut, then the market's ripped. And I said, okay, cool, Matt, you've been sitting on your hands, you've been patient. You're not fading the overall market. I didn't play the downside. I waited and I waited and I waited. And I told myself, Matt, as soon as you see a new local low, a higher low on the daily chart, among other things such as price momentum, price structure, large player flow, option structure, an overall positive narrative, as soon as you see all those boxes getting checked, that's the time you rip it. And when you're that confident, you rip it big. Then I thought, okay, you were waiting for this, you were patient, and I put about $75,000 on the line. That's how much I'm in right now, $75K, and I was feeling fine with it. I knew it was a swing play. It's nothing that I care about like that day or necessarily the next day or anything like that. It's a multi-day, if not a multi-week swing play. I want to be very clear. It's not a day trade. It's not a one-day hold. It's nothing like that. It's a multi-day, if not a multi-week swing into about, I don't know, either halfway or the end of September, roughly the time frame. And gosh darn it, the second the market closed on Friday, ever since then, it just like nothing was feeling good. And then I start to look at the markets on Saturday. I look at crypto just because there's a decent correlation between crypto and the NASDAQ. That started to show some weakness. And then something was off, just like you could almost sense it in the ether. And then on Sunday, when I was out and about in Manhattan, I started getting alerts that crypto was absolutely vomiting. And then I got even more alerts in the overnight session for futures that we were breaking some of the recent lows from the session on Friday. And I get it. The market's not open yet. There's a lot of time, and I don't want to be here like doomsday talking or anything like that, because literally the market's not open yet. Like, how do we know what's going on? But I would say vibes overall are currently low. Now, if we start to take out the closing value from Friday, right now the SPY and the Qs and the Russell are all slightly in the red from the closing value on Friday after a big pump. But I'm just not liking any of it giving any back, and especially my crypto plays. They're just going to get annihilated right now. So I need one. I need a little bit of a bullish miracle, not only today, but I'd love to see that follow through for the remainder of the week. And obviously, there's big things to pay attention to this week. Actually, two major things, and I'll get into more details. But Wednesday, after the market closes, we'll be hearing from NVIDIA, which obviously is going to have a huge impact on the NASDAQ. I believe per weight, it's like 14% of the NASDAQ, and maybe it's like about 7% of the SPYs reporting this week. So tech heavy stuff going on. Even today, we're apparently waiting for an NVIDIA announcement of some sort. And then later on this week, specifically Friday, we're going to get the next inflation report, which obviously is going to be highly impactful based on everything we just heard from Jerome Powell at the Jackson Hole Symposium as it relates to the FOMC and monetary policy in a general sense. So your boy punted it super, super hard, super, super long on Friday. And as of right now, I know we're not even a trading session into it. Literally, we just had the weekend, but I found myself pretty much every hour of the weekend trying to check the markets. And I was like, oh yeah, the markets are closed. So I'm just letting you guys know before we get into this, my desire, my personal bias, if I had a magic wand and could make something happen, I would love for this stuff to explode to the upside. But at the end of the day, when you're trading, it's a game of math. And at a certain point, even if you have a long position, if you start to take out recent lows, if you're seeing a negative delta options flow, if you're seeing the larger players start to hit the ejecto-cedo button, sometimes you just have to admit you're wrong. So I'm hoping I don't have to do that today. But if all of a sudden everything does look really wrong and I'm not cutting my positions, you guys might want to yell at me for that one. So we're going to see how this all plays out. But since it is a Monday, since we're in the final week of August, I'm going to prep everyone up for kind of what to pay attention to, not only today, but also for the remainder of the week. And then ideally, there's going to be a little bit of leftover time for me to explain my, in the short term, scalp trading, day trading, my particular approach for what I plan on doing today. So with that all being said, if you guys could help me out, it is a massive, massive help. If on Rumble, if on YouTube, if you're watching right now, if you could hit that like button. And obviously, if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications if you haven't done that already. Obviously, liking, subscribing, notifications, all that stuff is free, and it is a massive, massive help. So I just wanted to say thank you, folks. I hope you had a phenomenal weekend. I hope you got to enjoy some sun, hang out with your friends and family, and do whatever you get up to. And hopefully we get into some good trading sessions this week, because the past week or two has been a little bit boring. So you can see right here in pre-market, SPY slightly down, Qs slightly down, the Russell slightly down. But what's bigly down is Bitcoin. You could see around, what was this, 3 p.m. yesterday, 3:30ish, we just saw a huge liquidation in Bitcoin, a massive liquidation going from 114.5, which was already kind of drifting down. I just want to be clear, from what we saw on Friday, it just, by the time Friday night when I was out and about, I was like, oh, that's not so good. Maybe it's just a higher low and we bounced. But no, Bitcoin ever since Friday getting hit pretty hard. Yeah, you could argue maybe it was a little bit of a rotation because Ethereum did hit a new all-time high and it is bouncing back a little bit better. So, I mean, it sucks for me because I have Bitcoin calls. I suppose the equities market, I can't be that upset because at least the equities market is holding better than Bitcoin is. But nonetheless, it's going to be interesting to pay attention to. Stock futures slip after Dow's record close. Traders await NVIDIA earnings this week. So 2 to 3 major things you got to pay attention to this week. And yes, I'm going to let you know about NVIDIA, and we're going to talk about it when the time's a little bit more appropriate. But first, let's talk about the fact that we are kind of getting this interesting drift down after this big pop on Friday. Now, to be clear, I'm only saying a drift down relative to our highs, which was almost a new all-time high. Obviously, if you're just basing it of where we opened on Friday, we're still greatly up. So I think it's one of those things of like, from what vantage point are you actually looking at this like losing steam type of a thing. Tech rally shows signs of losing steam. Doubts about artificial intelligence and rotation into previously unloved sectors slows the tech giants. Basically, they're saying money is leaving XL. Really, just it depends on the certain sector you want to look at in the S&P 500. That's a little bit too granular for this discussion. But yeah, XOK is the tech sector, and they're saying, okay, we're seeing some money go from that sector to a couple other ones that haven't been doing much recently. But in that world, and obviously I know here we're kind of a little bit more biased to the tech names just because that's where the liquidity's at, that's the high flyers, that's the stocks and the companies that we just kind of generically care about. On that particular note, it's not the only one that we're seeing the rotation. As I kind of pointed out, we're very much seeing a rotation from Bitcoin into Ether. Ether erases gains from Jackson Hole rally after hitting a fresh record over the weekend. So going the way of Bitcoin, let me bring up ETH just to show you what's going on. We did hit a new all-time high just below 5,000, and then kind of recently we see this pump, and then that led to a dump, and that was pretty much perfectly aligned with the exact same dump at Bitcoin. Unfortunately, it didn't have a similar pump. It only had that dump, and I do have some information on that, so it's just things are looking, I don't know. The bulls, unfortunately, are not getting that follow through that I wanted over the weekend, but I cannot stress this enough. Remember, that's a low liquidity environment. It's a summer weekend. What really matters is what's going to be happening during the cash sessions, obviously, throughout this week. So for those of you who are curious about what that sell-off was related to, I don't know why they decided to do this, but a big player decided to sell a lot of Bitcoin. A Bitcoin whale sold 24,000 Bitcoin worth over 2.7 billion, causing the $4,000 drop, and it happened just like that. They still hold 150, almost 3,000 Bitcoin worth more than 17 billion. So the person who did this, they sold a lot of Bitcoin, but also it's a very small fraction of the total Bitcoin that they hold. And then also we're already getting reports this morning that Michael Saylor's already back buying once again. So unfortunately right now, Bitcoin price is taking a considerable hit from Friday to this exact moment. But in terms of what happened, yeah, someone sold quite a bit. They still have a lot. We're already hearing of other people starting to buy the dip. So I'm in one of those things where I'm like a little bit like bummed out. Like I wish it were going higher, but also I'm trying to be disciplined enough to realize, okay, this is some short-term movement. Let's just sit on our hands and like wait to really see how this plays out. So a little bit of an update there specific to crypto. Stocks rally stutters as rate cut optimism fades. So remember, the big news of Friday was going into it at 10 a.m. when Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, was speaking in Jackson Hole. Everyone's like, okay, are we getting a rate cut in September or not? Going right into that meeting, there was actually just above a 40% chance of no rate cut, most likely because of the PPI report the week before coming in a little bit too hot. And we know that, according to the FOMC meeting minutes, that they were a little bit more focused on inflation than they were the labor market. That's the price stability part of the dual mandate. The other side is obviously the labor market and just being concerned of softening or not. The big thing that changed on Friday, and you could see the exact moment it changed when we started exploding right at 10 a.m., was when it came out that, hey, and this is from Jerome Powell, probably representing the overall voting board of the FOMC, of, hey, actually, we think the dynamics of what we have to pay attention to are now a little bit more shifted. And the layman's terms of that is, yeah, we're actually now a bit more open to the rate cut in September. And right away, the odds of the rate cut shot up. So at this point, I believe on the Fed watch tool, this was around 30, popping up to 85. But what I find to be a little bit more compelling is the poly market. You can see right here, the red line is the chance of no change. Heading into it, it was clocking in at a 39% chance of no rate cut in September. And then right after that announcement, you could see it drop to 12%. And then obviously the odds of a 20 bips rate cut, 25 bips, shot up to 83. Over the weekend, it had like a little bit of a bounce, but then early this morning, it is like kind of once again dropping. So in real time, there's a 17% chance of no rate change, as in a 78% chance. Once again, this is all according to Poly Market, and the numbers are a little bit off if you're considering what we're seeing on that Fed watch tool. And obviously Polymarket is people individually betting, and then the Fed watch tool is actually going to be a little bit of more math based on really the active bets on the bond market and the yield market. But anyway, I think putting those two together, you get a pretty good idea of what's going on. So I'm really bringing this up to illustrate the point that it's not a done deal. In fact, those are the odds. It's about an 80-20 odds. So there's a 1 in 5 chance that we get no rate cut. There's a 4 in 5 chance that we get a 25 bips rate cut. And the reason that these odds haven't really solidified so much is because we still need to get the next inflation report coming out this Friday. We get the PCE report, the most inflation report. And then the first week of September, the first Friday of a new month, you get the jobs numbers. Remember, price stability, aka inflation, and then all the jobs numbers. Those are the two things that the Fed's going to be considering as we go into the mid-September FOMC meeting. So you gotta pay attention to all of that. But regardless, where we are right now in the short term is, yeah, we got that pop, but we're giving a little bit of it back, and kind of everyone's looking around, and even myself on Twitter this morning saying like, is this a bull trap? Is this not a bull trap? What in the world's going on? I think Bloomberg had a pretty decent breakdown of this. Let me make sure the volume's loud enough.
We've talked about rates and the dollar kind of pulling apart for quite some time. They start to be coming back, or they seem to be coming back together. What do you think the reasoning for that is?
Yeah, I think we had a temporary dislocation earlier this year. We obviously had quite a unique environment. Suddenly, trade policy became the most important driver of global markets, which is not something that I remember kind of seeing before. And it wasn't just a one-off shift, because obviously it was extended periods of uncertainty. The uncertainty hasn't fully gone away. We've gone past the worst of it. So I think there was a big dislocation between FX and rates temporarily, and I think rates is reasserting its role as being one of the most important drivers. I wouldn't want to emphasize that it's going to completely dominate the story. I think the fact is we're seeing ongoing undermining of U.S. Institutional credibility, and I think that given that the world is still structurally exposed to the dollar, I'm not talking about short-term money which is short the dollar, I'm talking about the long-term exposure to the dollar. I think that'll continue to weigh on the dollar over the coming years. It's an expensive currency with a current account problem and a fiscal problem, and those twin deficits will weigh in it over the coming years as institutional credibility continues to get undermined.
So those credibility risks are still there, particularly when you push out to 2026. Mark, what do you make of exactly what we heard from Jay Powell and the equity market reaction as well? Strength, of course, in the US session. Looks like it's fading a little bit today. Is this a market that's expecting one and done in September, or is there something else at play?
It's a great question.
So I think Powell, if you read his comments, if you came in from outer space and did not have the prior pricing, you'd go, these are pretty neutral comments. We may warrant confirmed. A shift in adjustment in policy. I think that in the context that we are pricing most of a rate cut going into the speech, it was correctly taken as dovish because he didn't push back on the pricing. Here was a chance to...
Very quickly, just as a reminder, dovish with respect to monetary policy is a little bit more related to the world of quantitative easing and lowering rates, while hawkish is the exact opposite. You are dovish when you want to support the jobs market. You are hawkish when you want to fight inflation. They're not always, but a lot of the time at odds with each other, which is why we have the two terms. So for quite a while, because inflation was so high, the Fed was much more hawkish, i.e. fighting inflation, than they were dovish. And right now, this is the interpretation of, are we switching? Is monetary policy going from a hawkish tone to a dovish tone, just for a little bit of, I guess, terminology clarification.
Going to go, whoa. People have got carried away for the rate cut meeting, so the policy meeting in a few weeks' time. Maybe that's a Freudian slip. And therefore, he validated pricing for a rate cut. And therefore, it was a dovish shift. Now, what's interesting today is we're not seeing any follow-through price action. I think the price action is actually very disappointing, which is getting a little bit of a new narrative out there in the market. I think the narrative is coming from the price action, kind of going, you know what? It's no real different from a week ago. We knew that a week ago it was really the data in the coming weeks that were going to decide things. And now we still know that today. The slight shift, and there has been a genuine shift, is a week ago it was, I will cut rates if the data really validates that decision. Now it's, I'm going to cut rates unless the data prevents me from doing so.
That's that line right there. They're going to now at this point be looking for any reason to really cut rates, and it would have to be in their face to not cut rates. So what would that look like? The extreme nature in which we don't get cut, like our rates cut, it would be super high inflation reports and then super good, strong job reports. That would be the opposite of a reason to cut rates. So high inflation, good jobs numbers means maybe no rate cut in September. If any of those are neutral, okay, fine. And then where it becomes like clear that we're going to get a rate cut is if inflation is constant or lower, and then the jobs market continues to show softening numbers, weaker numbers, then that's when the market's going to get pretty confident of a rate cut.
Well, speaking of the data, we have jobless claims on Thursday. We have US PCE on Friday. Does that move the dial at all?
The answer to that is obviously yes. Fed Jackson Hole exposed a hard road ahead for central bankers. So why is it a hard road? Because it's exactly that. It is right now, the data is not clear. It's kind of jumping back and forth. 2 weeks ago, we got a lower than expected CPI report, consumer price index. Great. That's awesome. That's a good reason to cut rates. 2 days after that, we got a hotter than expected PPI report. Not so good. Why are we getting some cool inflation reports? Why are we getting some hot inflation reports? That's just on the price stability side. Then when you look at the job side, we're still always getting that data where it comes in and then like a month later, they're like, oh, we're going to revise it. And it's at the point where can we even trust the jobs data? And honestly, in terms of unemployment, we're in the low 4%. That's actually historically really, really good. So in terms of the magnitude of the reading, all right, that's actually pretty stable, pretty strong. That's where we want it to be. But some of the data that they're recently taking in is suggesting maybe not such an optimistic trend of where we're going to be going in the short term. So that might be some of the quote unquote weakening that really they should be looking for. So it's kind of this weird catch-22 is for them to cut rates, which Trump wants, and maybe many of you in the Discord, or excuse me, in the chat want, maybe even also in the Discord, is we actually kind of need worse numbers on the job side, but then you want better numbers on inflation. And really there is ideally, I hope, fingers crossed, a small percentage chance that they might be cutting rates into like a stagflationary situation, which is not going to be good. To clarify what I mean by that, if inflation is going up and then there's no growth, that's stagflation. And if you cut rates into that, that's not, it's going to inherently send assets sky high, but it's not going to be good. If you watched the update video last night, you know that I referred to it as bittersweet. So the sweet part is, yeah, we're going to see assets go up. You're going to see equities, futures, crypto, housing, everything is going to go up in value, but it's really not going to be because they're gaining value. It's going to be because the dollar's losing purchasing power. So on a relative basis, it'll look like things going up, but really it's just the dollar's, as it's been for over 100 years now, it's going to really keep just going down and down and down. So that is a chance if we're cutting rates into stagflation, but we're going to find out quite a bit more. I don't think we necessarily need to ruminate on this, pontificate on this, if you need your SAT word of the day, when really we're going to have a much clearer understanding of the situation when we get that PCE report this Friday, and then when we get the jobs number next Friday. Those two pieces of information, on top of the fact that we're going to have NVIDIA earnings, those three things put together are going to be very, very, very informative. Now, with all of that, I understand it could sound a little bit doomsday, if you will, and I don't really want to sound like that because remember, we're not that far away from an all-time high. So here's another interesting stat for you. Friday, this past Friday, was a rare 90-90 day, meaning 90% of the volume and stocks on the New York Stock Exchange were higher. And we even saw that in the data right here. Remember, this is the tick value of the New York Stock Exchange. And to get this to move this size, generally it's larger players. You could see all day Friday, they were very, very, very optimistic. So yes, I agree with this. These events tend to be quite bullish, with the S&P 500 higher more than 90% of the time a year later and up more than 23% on average. So that's more for like whatever longer term swing trading, maybe shorter term investing. What I care about is the 1 month and the 3 months. So this event doesn't happen much. I believe there's either 13 or 14 showings. What I find interesting is the next 1 month and the next 3 months, we have an 85 and a 77% chance being higher than where we are right now. So I know this isn't necessarily going to be able to be used by you guys for like day trading today, but for my like medium-ish term swing traders, the stats for what we just saw in the New York Stock Exchange really ripping it, clearly favoring the bulls a little bit more. But I should note it's favoring the bulls a bit more, but we're actually going into kind of a messed up month. The seasonality of the month of September is kind of a brutal one, kind of choppy sideways at first. In the middle of the month, there's a bullish trend, and then for the remainder of the month, there's a bearish trend. So it's not one of those months where we're like, oh, we have a beautiful trend this entire time. Historically, it's kind of like like you almost want to cut the month in half and be like bullish in the first half, bearish in the second half. So that's obviously for the full month, bringing it back to this individual week. You're going to get new home sales today at 10 a.m. Tomorrow, you're going to get goods orders. That's important. Consumer confidence also coming out at 10 a.m. That's another one. That intraday trading, you're going to see some movement there. Thursday, initial jobless claims and GDP. And then really the Friday show is going to be the big one with respect to the inflation report. That's going to be the bell of the ball this week. PCE, personal consumption expenditure, coming out an hour before the market opens on Friday. A very, very important one. And then also with respect to Wednesday, that's when we're going to be hearing from NVIDIA. Obviously, we're pretty much wrapping up with earnings season now. There's still some important ones. Like I know some of you are going to care about NVIDIA. Probably a lot of you care about NVIDIA. Snowflake, CrowdStrike, HP, Dell, Best Buy, Dollar General, Bath and Body Works. So feel free to screenshot this. Alibaba on Friday. The one obviously I care about, and I would assume most of you care about, is also going to be Wednesday after the market closes, is NVIDIA. Very, very important. Now, a lot of this stuff we went over. Instead of you guys having to memorize it, I put it in the newsletter every single Sunday, 10 a.m. to your email inbox. You get this for free. It's 100% free. It's always been free, always will be free. I break down what's going on in the market, give you the most recent weeks like returns, a little breakdown of the market there, cheat sheet for earnings, cheat sheet for all the major macroeconomic events, and then probably most useful is the seasonality of each individual day, which brings us to today, Monday, August the 25th. Over the past 27 years worth of data, the better part of 3 decades, the bulls have won this 56% of the time, so a little bit of a 6% edge there. But what's more impressive is the profit factor. As in, when the bulls win, they win with size on this day. So really, if for the first decade of this data, a little bit more bearish. And then ever since then, basically the past 17 years, this particular day, if you go long at market open, the futures market, S&P 500 futures, and then close out that position at the end of the day, you are nicely positive on this individual day. Now, I'll be the first to tell you that seasonality isn't the end all be all, but I think it gives you a good idea of tailwinds and headwinds and that type of a thing. And am I looking for anything just to support my own bias? I mean, you bet your bottom dollar I am. I put a lot of money into bullish positions. So if I'm coming off as a little bit biased, yeah, I'm just trying to be a little bit hopeful and try to keep myself in the game, because if this thing starts to puke today, your boy's going to be shit out of luck. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is also a little bit bullish. Wednesday, leaning bullish. Thursday, a little bit more neutral. And then Friday, also a little bit more neutral. So basically, to wrap up the final week of the month, it's going to be bullish, maybe a bit neutral, but from a seasonality standpoint, it is not bearish. Just want to clarify all of that. All right, looking at the larger picture, here's where we are. Basically, on Friday, we were a hair away from a new all-time high on SPX. NDX had a nice bounce off the bottom of its channel, but obviously a little bit weak in pre-market trading right now, but who knows, the market's not even open yet. What really stole the show last week was small caps. Huge rotation in the small caps exploded. How much was it up? Up almost 4% on Friday. So the Russell small cap sector really looking good. Bitcoin was also looking good on Friday, and now it looks like complete dog shit. I am praying for a triple bottom here, but if this starts to go lower, I'm just going to have to cut my short-term position on it. Obviously, I'm still going to stay invested in Bitcoin. And then also ETH. There's ETH hitting an all-time high yesterday, a hair below really that 5,000 mark. I'm going to go over some of these individual equities after the market opens, but I do want to just give you the key levels on the SPX, on the S&P 500. As I always do, I mark out the previous high, low, and close. That is the green, the red, and the white line. The white box is the transition zone with respect to 0 DTE, gamma, and delta. Above it is thought to be bullish. Below it is thought to be bearish. Within it is thought to be neutral. And then the final thing are these yellow horizontal lines, which are the major open interest and technical and psychological levels, as in they could be used as support or resistance. If you want to use these, have at it. These are my key levels. If you like them, write them down, screenshot it, use it. And if you think I'm stupid and wrong and don't know what I'm doing, feel free to not use it. It is all up to you. And then the final thing I need to show you is if you missed the show on Friday, you know that I was finally fortunate enough. I ended up getting all my Apex accounts passed. So they now start with PA, as in they are performance accounts. They are funded accounts. So for quite a while there, I was trading the accounts, but they were still in the eval stage. I didn't hit the profit yet. But then obviously Friday went so bonkers, and I was able to catch a couple longs into that I made enough profit, and I passed every single one. So this is officially day one of the funded account. So I'm trading a less aggressive form. Well, it's right behind my head. It's like right over here a little bit. You can see that I'm trading a less aggressive form of Icarus this morning. And the reason I'm doing that is I just want a small and a steady start to this. I don't want to come out of the gate like ripping and roaring. I mean, I've been babying those eval accounts for quite a while, so I'd feel really, really uniquely stupid if I like end up fucking it up on day one. So day one for me, Monday, August the 25th, I'm ripping Icarus, but I want to kind of just do it in more of a, I don't know, calm manner, if you will. And on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Please pay responsibly, and if not, have fun. Remember, it's just money. You can't take it with you when you go, but I should know I'm very, very happy right away. NQ got above 23,500.
Order submitted.
All right, and here's our first trade of Icarus in the funded accounts. And holy shit, that was not a good one. Come on, Icarus, don't do this to me. Come on, Icarus. Very, very delayed once again. Dude, I've been trying to figure out these slippage issues, and I thought, okay, maybe it's going to be a bit faster if I don't do copy trading. Maybe it's going to be a bit faster if I apply the strategy to each individual account. And that one was slow again. That is not the way I want to start this. So there is one more. Basically, on day one, I'm like really trying to calm it down on how many times it can trade. And that one, this slippage is so bad. I just don't understand that, which is obviously why I'm hesitant. It should have got in on this bar. It was a whole bar late, and it would have hit its profit target. It was basically trying to go right up to VWAP there, and technically it never hit VWAP. I'm going to get frustrated, I can tell already, because it does seem as if this is most likely going to hit. Like, I bet we do go up to VWAP today. But something with it, I cannot figure out the speed. Because, like, the question is with respect to speed, is it better to do copy trading and run one edition of your strategy and just copy trade it? Or should you run your strategy on each individual account? And I feel like, as if I've been going over this for the past about 4 to 5-ish weeks, probably 4 weeks with you guys, I feel like sometimes we're getting evidence that one is better than the other. And I'm just not really necessarily sold on either. But maybe just this slippage is an aspect of sim to fund and trading, and maybe these little scalp trades is just not mathematically the way to go. But I mean, slippage has been the fucking bane of my existence lately. Like, literally the bane of my existence. So trying to figure out whatever the hell is happening there. But I'm going to get frustrated because I bet this does go up to VWAP and I would have hit my profit. And if I just decided to take max risk, it probably would have been fine. But we're going to see how today plays out. Remove the copy. It sucks. I'm not copy. Are you listening? I just said I didn't copy trade today. Instead, I added, I applied the strategy, Icarus, to every individual one. So there's no copy trading today. And last week we were trying copy trading, and same thing. We saw some slippage. So, or not some slippage, like legit slippage. Bitcoin, we should be paying attention to that. All right, let me get up a couple other things around here.
Order submitted.
What the fuck?
Target filled.
Even that.
Target filled.
So why did some hit?
Target filled.
And others did? Dude, so it took that trade. But even in the timing, like from the audio you heard, like here, that one, I'll just, to kind of prove my point of what I'm talking about, just, okay, I'm on the 100 tick chart. See, so this account took the trade right there. I don't know, let's just go to another random one. Oh, wait, no, now it's just showing. Okay, so that one was different for some reason. Wait, so the most evident thing that I'm seeing is the take profits kind of all trade at their same time, and then the apex ones are slightly off. See how that was a whole bar later? And granted, in this situation, that helped me, but it looks like the apex ones were delayed by a bar, which this is a very fast bar. It's a 100 tick bar. So I wonder if some of these sim to funding companies have like just different post processing. maybe to check if like you're blown out or something like that. Anyway, Icarus has traded twice. It's obviously net down, but had one winning trade. It had one losing trade. Interesting. Oh, okay. I don't know how much more time I should necessarily spend trying to figure that out because it might be an unsolvable problem. Like obviously by definition, what I've been trying to solve lately, fucking come on, Tesla, what are you doing? Is there anything in the green today at all? Palantir vomited. Dude, this market needs to catch itself. But anyway, I wonder if I'm kind of not appropriately spending my time because I feel, especially over the past week or two, a lot of my time has been like, okay, what is the best way to set up the whole platform, whether it's your copy trader or your strategies, or even to the point where I was trying to really minimize my code to get the code to run faster. So I was doing all of this stuff, and I wonder if it's just not possible. I wonder if this idea of slippage is just going to always be there. I wonder if it's an aspect of some sort of relay delay between when you decide to trade and the processing it takes to go through the SIMDA funding company to like then apply to these paper trading accounts and blah, 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 blah. I'm almost starting to wonder if there's nothing I can do to actually solve it because I've tried 2 different copy traders. I've tried mixing the copy traders with the strategies. And then I've also tried just exclusively firing the strategies. My honest take, remove all trades before 9:35. That would inherently help with slippage a little bit just because there's greater volatility before 9:35. But then I don't agree with that because that's not the strategy. That's not the like time proven strategy. Of course, you should still be trading a strategy that has positive expected value, like something that you back tested and you know historically had you taken it, you would be net ahead. So it might mean even if you found strategies at that point in the day, you might not be able to use them. But even then, we've seen slippage issues past 10 a.m. as well. I can't say that we've only seen it at market open. Do you remember that one time there was a 10 a.m. whatever data drop and the slippage was 21 points or something like that? Like you guys saw it. Like I had a runner. I was like, oh, I'll put in a stop just for protection. And the stop was at break even. And I got to fill 21 or maybe 18 points like worse. So obviously that makes it tough. But even this, like that first trade, it's going to hit. I have a very, very strong suspicion that like the target was VWAP. I bet we go up to VWAP and it would have hit anyway. And then I'd be up, I don't know, 200 or 300 on the day. I have a sneaky suspicion. Here, let's go to the 500 tick. Yeah. So what was VWAP at that time? 23,520. I should clarify that I think the Bulls very much have a fighting chance if we're above 500. And obviously now I would really like it above 518. But one thing that I have been looking at is the immediate reaction we saw in the market right here. I marked it out in the top right screen, this 10-minute bar. This was right when Jerome Powell started speaking on Friday. So we are at the top of that region. I would say that the market is telling us something very important if we hold on top of this region. I think it's telling us something very important if we break below this region. And I think within this region, the market is like kind of saying, do we really like, I guess, care about what Powell had to say. So I would say it's a big win for the Bulls to stay above this white block. Once again, this white block was created on the initial 10-minute reaction to Jerome Powell from 10 to 10:10 on Friday. So I very much like when the ES contract is above, I guess, 6475, we'll call it. Same thing with NQ, which it means it needs to get all the way above 23,571. So we'll just call it 575. This one pulled back a little bit more, as in the tech sector relative to the S&P 500 is showing a bit more weakness. So it's in the box right now. Above it tells us something very important. Below it tells us something very important. And obviously I'm looking for that push and hold above. So the NASDAQ has a bit more distance to go. Once again, 23,575. I would say that would show that the market like, yes, it thinks that we should be having a bullish reaction to Jerome Powell's speech on Friday. And right now that means we have about 65 points more to go. Well, the ES contract is pretty much right at it. So I am, like I said, I want to be completely honest about my own positions, my own bias. Because of what we saw on Friday, I saw a technical breakout. I saw strong price structure, strong price momentum, strong large player flow, and strong options flow in the Mag 7. So because of all that, I took bullish positions. So without a doubt, because I have money on the line, I'm looking for anything that shows I'm like, yeah, like I'm comfortable in the position. And this is one thing that I really want to happen. I want the ES to confidently hold above, I guess, 72 right here. This is the top of the bar basically of Jerome Powell. And then I'll show you on NQ, I'll zoom in, same thing. We popped all the way up here, and that means we do have a bit of distance to go. But overall, the 5-minute is trying to fight bullish. The 10-minute is testing. The 30-minute is testing. And the 4 hours testing on NQ. With respect to the S&P 500, 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes testing, 30 minutes bullish, and 4 hours bullish. So on a relative basis, the overall market is looking a bit stronger than the NASDAQ. But I need to remind you, especially if you're showing up right now to the show, that the tech sector this week is going to have quite a freaking bit of volatility. We are allegedly waiting on an announcement from NVIDIA today, just like a general corporate announcement from the CEO. And then they're also doing their earnings report after the market closes this Wednesday. So NVIDIA, obviously impactful to the overall market. It is the world's biggest stock. And then also with respect to the tech sector, it's not only the world's biggest stock, but it's also a massive tech stock that is being used as the bellwether for like this whole AI semiconductor rip of like, is that thematic trade still alive or is it actually losing steam? So we're going to get a lot more info on that this Wednesday. And then on top of that, just with respect to the overall market, the NASDAQ, the Russell, the dollar, all that stuff, we're going to get that inflation report on Friday, an hour before the market opens. We get the PCE report, which you've probably heard the terms CPI, PPI, PCE, all for inflation, the consumer price index, the producer price index, personal consumption expenditure. They're all very important, but according to the Fed, like stated by the Fed themselves, they do care the most about the PCE report. So that's going to be a very, very important one, obviously. A very important one. All right. All right. Got what I needed. Paying attention to this, we kind of dipped, we popped. I'm looking for this bar right here at 940 to be a higher low. We are going to be finding out. Do we have equal highs, a double top sell-off, or are we putting in a higher low and we're going to get this opportunity to maybe push to the top of the transition zone at 60? And then remember, pushing green here at 67 could set up a very interesting test of 75, a 78, of 81. There's a lot of resistance right in this area. And then obviously we have this key psychological, technical, and open interest level at 6,500. So those would be important levels for the bulls. And I'm just looking, are we putting in a higher low? Right here, we do have a higher high. What is this level here? What is this level? 500 tick. Let me switch to this to the 1 minute. We have an inside bar on the 1 minute where we got pulled back into the EMAs. We got perfectly rejected at VWAP, which was my first target. So that technically would have hit if I just let it have unlimited risk. If I risked the entire account, that would have hit because we hit the VWAP at 939. Let's take a quick look at flow today. How is the market actually looking? We are below VWAP. Does this thing want to follow through at all is the question. Oh, if I took this trade, was my risk 75? I'm going to be in. So that's 25 points of risk.
Order filled.
Okay, I'm going to risk right here. Sell stop market.
Order submitted.
All right, how much is that? That's 25 points of risk, roughly. So let's, did this not? Oh, this is trading by itself. Fuck. Why is this not 909. Oh, that doesn't make sense.
Order filled.
909. Is this one accidentally doubled up? Now it is. All right, so let me sell 2 of these to get it where it should be. Sell market, yeah.
Order filled.
Okay, so now they're all back in line of where they should be. But I need to put in this risk before this gets too bad.
Order filled.
Well, that one. What the fuck is this mismatch bullshit going on right now? All right, maybe I should close this all out and understand.
Order filled.
Are we all squared up now? What the fuck is this mismatch? 901, 901, 901. Why was it mismatched with 909? All right, anyway, I'm now flat, and I just want to make sure I have the copier on right before I start trading and get really confused about where we're at. So that sucks because I was forced to lock in a loss I didn't necessarily want, but I'm going to wait a second now. 945. This did spike up. We almost got going and then right away got smacked. So actually, in reality, even though that was like some stupid trades, I would have been cutting it anyway because there was no follow through right here. Let me get the Mag 7. Let me look at the S&P 500. I'm worried that I'm like forcing a bullish trade today just because I really want the market to go up. So like there is a little voice in the back of my head of like, hey, like, I don't know, that easily could have been a higher low. It just so happens that the next bar, because you're never going to know the next bar, like as this easily looked like a higher low and it now is just turning into a fake out and we just broke it. So in reality, I actually really like that trade at 943 just because, great, you saw a pump, you saw a pullback, you were waiting to not chase. It started to get going, your risk was recent low, and then it, in this particular case, it just ended up vomiting. So like that is going to happen. I actually really don't mind that trade whatsoever. It just honestly didn't work out. Even though you had the higher highs and you had the higher lows, the structure quickly switched and now we have lower highs and lower lows. Man, that rapidly broke down. Are we going to get a little double bottom here? ES is right at the top of that. NQ is still in it. 5 minutes kind of bearish, 10 minutes kind of bearish, 30 minutes is testing. Down here, we are testing. Yeah, that's not looking so good there. That is looking quite a bit better. Here's the 5 minute ES. It's having a tough time getting right above that. The NQ as well. It's right in that transition zone. Yeah, I mean, I actually really like that play. Unfortunately, it just didn't work because right here, we had higher highs, we had higher lows. That was with trend. We did get, obviously, there's always just a little bit of craziness right at market open. But ever since then, we pushed a high, we pushed a higher low, we pushed a higher high, waited for a pullback. Unfortunately, the pullback broke this recent low, so I just got out in case it does like end up waterfalling or cascading. But I really don't mind that. I think it is really easy to Monday morning quarterback right here. But like if I just showed you this, if I showed you this picture at 943, we would all say higher highs, higher lows. And it just so happens that in this particular circumstance, it vomited 2 bars later. It just ended up vomiting, like, and that shit happens. That's why are we starting to bounce a little bit now? The Qs are actually catching a little bit of a bid here. All right, Mag 7, a little bit down, flat, and then a little bit more down. The NASDAQ was up, now giving it back, kind of netting out. Same thing with the SPY, was up, and then right there, what was it? Probably a little bit of 0 DTE profit taking. That call delta getting hit pretty hard. Call delta getting hit pretty decent. Pretty decent. Oh, do I really want to take another stab at it? Obviously, my risk would be this recent low. I wish the Mag 7 was a little bit more optimistic here. Maybe instead of wicking above, I'll be looking for the actual bar close above. Maybe that's something I could do just for a little bit more confirmation. I could also wait for the trend line breakout. A little flag there. We have a little flag. We pulled right back up to the EMAs. I am on the right account, at least this time. All right, so we have a little bit of consolidation. We do have some lower highs and some higher lows. We're right at the various EMAs, like the 10, the 20, the 50. And then we got that pump. Obviously, if you're going long now, this is your risk down there. All right, we're going to take a stab at it.
Order submitted.
Okay.
Order submitted.
All right. Let's hope that I'm picking the right side of the consolidation breakout. We've tapped VWAP twice, the volume weighted average price. I'm hoping that the third time is the charm. I'm also looking at some other things. We just established a higher point of control, the POC point of control, up to 480. It did move up, so that's, I don't know, a little bit bullish. But let's see how things really get going. EMA, I'm looking for a positive EMA crossover. And it's very rapidly getting smacked here, so I'm not the biggest fan of that. Not necessarily the biggest fan of that. Let's see if there's some support here. I do see some selling at 95 and 500 flat, but not as much selling as I would anticipate at 500 flat. Truly, I thought this would be like deep red. Maybe it will if in the event, ideally, we get closer to it. Maybe we'll see some people attempting to sell. Remember, the heat map is passive sell orders above and passive buy orders below. And then the circles are where you're actually seeing orders like legitimately hit. So in the bottom left over here, you can see how red that was. That was a lot of passive buy orders. And guess what? They get filled and then we bounce right off of it. That was off of 450. But this is not breaking my way. I'm not liking the structure at all. I was thinking about firing this off at 79, and then I waited for the bar to close actually above all these EMAs, thinking, okay, cool, we're above the EMAs, we're catching a little bit of a bullish trend, but the fact that the next two bars, similar to before, quickly reverted it, not the biggest fan. Not the biggest fan. Come on, let's put in a higher low. Just trying to play an actual structure here. Mag 7 flow definitely is leaving a little bit to be desired, and then so is the SPY. Like, neither of them are really trending. Like, they're kind of down, they're kind of up, but it's no like evident like, oh, it's obviously bullish, oh, it's obviously bear. It's just choppy. So maybe I just need to wait. Maybe. Maybe. All right, that's a little bit of a pop. 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes on the bullish side, 30 minutes on the bullish side. 4 hours. So across the board, the S&P 500 is looking. I just really want to see this sit above 72 on the ES contract. But then if you look at NQ, it's just indecisive. The 5 minutes above, below, above, below, above, below. The 10 minute is technically bearish. So I think that would actually be a fair bit of criticism if you're like, well, why did you take that trade when we're not agreeing momentum wise? I think I was a little bit like too zoned in on what was happening with the S&P 500 rather than the actual NASDAQ here. So I think I need a little bit of a lucky break. While the 5 minutes choppy, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minutes testing, 4 hours also testing. So the NASDAQ a lot less decisive. And even that just pumped and quickly got swatted. So, yep, we clearly have lower highs. We clearly have higher lows, which brings up the question of why the fuck am I in a position? When you have lower highs and higher lows, that means you're consolidating. So now I'm in the pickle of a position where I need the breakout to be on my side, which means I basically have a 50-50 shot rather than doing something intelligent. So that's fun. Great start to the week for me. That is a great start to the week for me. Sick. All right, we're starting to pick up a little bit. Netflix, NFLX. Where is that one? I just got an alert. Oh, green. Netflix going green. So Netflix is the first green guy of the day. Apple is the second. And then a lot of these other ones are very much in the red. I'm afraid to look at my swing account right now. Like, legit, it's going to be a fucking horror story, so I'm just not going to do it. Not going to do it. Hang on, this thing's yelling at me. I don't know what the hell. My one computer that is, I use this one to just track the market internals, like everything's just broke. Is it broke over here or is it just on that computer? Nope, this is fine. This is working. That's printing data. I'm basically tracking and collecting the tick data on a different machine just because if it's a heavy process and it's hard to do it when I'm trying to stream. So I have another computer that does that, but apparently it doesn't want to go to work today. Folks, all we've had thus far, the first, I don't know, 5 minutes or 25 minutes of data is nothing but sideways bullshit. Maybe a double bottom, maybe a higher low right here. Really what I should have done was waited to this moment. If the Qs can break above this recent high, that should have been my entry, risking this recent low, and then I move on with my life. That should have been the trade, and instead I've already traded like what, 3 or 4 fucking times, all costing me money. Honestly, my best trade was that one that was a fuck up, and then because it was a fuck up, I got out quick. So it's kind of sad when I can like legitimately see fuck, now the SPY is having a bit of an issue here. Having a bit of an issue. Come on, let's get this follow through. SPY's taking a bit of a hit there. Yeah, the delta just dropped. What about the Mag 7 still climbing up? Mag 7 ever since 947. Showing a little bit of life, so that's making me optimistic. Here, let me mark out some of these highs and lows because we are almost 30 minutes into the session, and recently I've noticed that a lot of people are trading the 30-minute Orbo, the 50-minute Orbo, that type of a thing. So let me mark those out just for all my Orbo traders. We're going to know if it's breaking down or breaking out or all that good jazz. All that good jazz. But we're kind of like perfectly in the range here. Kind of perfectly in the range. Here we go. Here we go. Indicators. Indicators. I need the ATR up, folks. I lost my ATR. How can I call myself a finfluencer without knowing the average true range of the last 20 bars on NQ? What am I doing with my life? It's 16, dude. This range is bigger than I want it to be. That's for fucking sure. Okay, I'm finally in the green. There is a potential flag breakout for my technical traders on the last minute bar. We did pump above, so that's a fair place to go long. You're risking the recent low. We just got the VWAP break. I'm long 2 contracts. I'm trying to scale out one here. This is way beyond what I actually want. I'm just trying to dig myself out of a hole, and I figured, hey, it'd be nice to lock in 58 points because that would be about half my loss, and then I could have one runner, and maybe I could ride the runner for the rest of the day. Maybe, just maybe, but I'm really starting to think that I should be moving my risk up. I'm going to move it up, take some risk off the table, so if I'm wrong, I'm not losing as much. So my risk recently was 48. I moved it up to 68, literally just tracking the recent local lows. And what I would love is for a break above 520, as I was talking about before, because I might even be able to move my stop to break even at that point. I might be able to move my stop to break even at that point. What are we seeing here? Where are all the... Oh, there's a lot of people trying to sell at 518, 520 right here. Remember, this heat map sitting sell orders above, sitting buy orders below. We are now on top of VWAP. We are on top of the point of control. So that would be suggesting that the bulls are at least making an attempt right now above VWAP, above the point of control. But there's quite a bit of selling resistance. That's a lot of sell side liquidity. So if it takes it out, that tells me that, okay, the bulls are trying to make like a move here. They're trying to attempt to break it. But Obviously, when it comes up to resistance, you have two options. You're either breaking out or you're getting rejected. And all I can tell you is that we're there right now. I wish I had we're getting some fills. We're getting some fills. I got on at 23,339 thanks to clown Matt Strats. Well, that's hurtful. All right, I guess I'm a fucking clown now. Oh, nothing more fun than getting called a clown on the internet when you're losing a shitload of money. You know, just kick a guy while he's down. Prophet is saying Nvidia turned green. Well, I'm going to take, all right, I'll take a little bit more green. Avago a bit green as well. I would love for Tesla to go green. Damn, Coinbase, MicroStrategy, and Palantir are all kind of getting notably beat up. Microsoft not far away from going green, and neither is Tesla. Palantir trying to swing it around a little bit. Tesla picking it up a little bit. Nvidia getting that pump. All right, we just got a new intraday high on the SPY and on the Qs. We are at the top of that zone. We're at the top of the gamma zone, which means my next test is the red to green move at 6467. And hey, finally, I might have done something not completely fucking stupid. I'm making some money back. Come on. And just like that, smacked at 39. All right. So if I get out this exact second, I can get back half my losses. All right. I feel like when you start talking like that, it doesn't make the most. Why would I take on risk? I mean, we're not that far. It could easily be a VWAP bounce here. I mean, we're heading in. Yeah, we just had this 10 a.m. announcement. Obviously, the market not liking it the most. Like, I'm trying to be respectful of the fact that vol's kind of picking up and our ranges are larger. So I don't like the market. We just got new home sales at 10. All right, come on, bounce off of that. So this might be actually nice. If it can bounce off of VWAP, that would be the obvious place that I put my stop just to protect myself. And then from there, it's a lottery ticket play. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I would no longer necessarily have to manage it. Right now, I'm obviously still taking on risk, but I'm looking for just a little bit of a reversal here. If we could see like a little bit of a 1-bar inversion, something like that. See right here, we went up, down. If we can just get a bit of a follow through, if we can push 30, then I could pretty much just say, hey, like, we're going fishing, folks. Come on. What I want to see is the next 1 minute bar, the 10:03 bar, to push above and close above, I guess 25, because this is 24.75. So if this bar right now can push above and close above 25, great. That gives me some breathing room and I no longer have to take on risk. Come on. Let's just make the structure. I just want to see that follow through of the higher highs and the higher lows. The higher high. Yeah, dude, smacked. This is why it's so important to map out these gamma and delta zones. So incredibly important, because look at that. We try to get going and smacked. And like, yeah, you could be like, well, we also had a news report. It's like, yeah, but then we've seen the news reports react so perfectly to these levels because it's where the market makers are positioned at. All right, come on. You guys know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this bar to close right up here. And then I could just take a risk off the table. Take my risk off the table. Come on. Just close it at 25. Close it at 50. I don't give a fuck. Okay, technically it closed up there. I'm a man of my word. All right. At least I'm not going to lose money. You know? My stop, just for everyone paying attention, stop is at break even. So the hole that I got myself into this morning, at least I will no longer be continuing to be in that hole. Or I'm not making the hole worse. The hole still might exist. Obviously, this could dump right here, and then I'll get knocked out for break even, and I'm still in the hole at 2.4K. But I'm at least not digging anymore. They took the shovel away from me, which I think is a good thing. They took my shovel away. Now I'm just trying to see if I can get lucky and someone will backfill the fucking mess I got into. But I'm long two NQ contracts, and I'm looking to scale out one of these at 550, and I might be moving that a little bit. Like, for example, a lot of people are trying to sell here at 40. Oh, also there's quite a bit of support at 23,500 for anyone who might be caring about it. It looks like they were at 90. They moved it up by 10 points, but looks like, ooh, that was a lot of selling. We're just trying to take this out. That's a lot of sell side liquidity. And then hopefully no one's at 50 yet. Ooh, I wonder if I'm being stupid. I wonder if I should be selling at least one of mine here at 40 just in case there's a rejection. Oh, come on, break it. Break it, motherfucker. Take it out. Take it out. It's trying to fill it. Take these fuckers out. Take them out. Take them out. Do it. Do it. All right. No follow through. It's battling them. It's battling them. Oh, they just moved it up. They moved it from 40 to 45. Those cheeky little bastards. They're committing tomfoolery. Dare I say it, dude. They are struggling here. Come on. I just need like one little errant trade to get me my fill. Oh. Fuck, dude, yeah. Isn't that crazy how this view just tells you so much more of the story? Like, we kind of watched it in real time, battle it out. They kind of pushed it, and then there's a whole new block that came in. Kind of fascinating. And, like, if you're just watching, like, the minute chart or something like that, you're like, I don't know, it just kind of went up and we're just chilling. But then to see it with this view, which is kind of like a very good visual for the DOM, the depth of market and live orders and whatnot and where people are positioned, just tells you a very, very different story. But yeah, literally we watched that liquidity, overshot it. Someone tried to sell quite a chunk. We dropped back and now we're double topping there. And I just need a little follow through to 50. I moved up my order a little bit. I'm trying to not be completely stupid. I'm targeting that recent low now. So no matter what, I'm going to make a little bit of money off this trade, but if it were to dump right now, like it appears to be, I would still be net down on the day. Net down on the day. Come on. Just give me this fill. Give me the fill. Come on. For all the marbles. For all the marbles. For all the marbles, let's do it. For all the marbles, come on. Come on. Fuck. Yeah, someone is really defending 45. Like, really, really defending 45. We just keep, all these sell orders just keep coming in right there. But maybe the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe the 8th time is the charm, and we can finally break through it. You know what they say about the 8th test? Pretty much guaranteed, you know? All right, well, is he actually gone this time now? I don't see any selling orders anymore. They might have moved it up to 50. It looks like those orders just got pulled. But remember, those are just sitting passive orders. Of course, you're not going to see market orders because market orders are people just deciding in real time. Okay. What are you doing there, Tonto? It looks like they pulled these orders, but I'm not seeing the follow through quite yet. Come on. Come on. Is this it? How close did we get? We got to 47. Keep pumping it.
Order
All
filled.
right, cool. I locked in one.
Order canceled.
All right. So.
Order submitted.
All right, so I was long two. I just unloaded one at a key level, literally top ticking that exit right there, and that's no surprise that people are going to be reacting to it. We saw it here on Bookmap, and now we're just kind of waiting to see. So if I were to get out right here, I'd be break even on the day, but the entire concept is I'm looking to catch a big fish. I'm looking to catch a trend, and my goal as a trader is to catch the meat of the move on the trend. So I went long 2 contracts, scaled that one at what I thought was a key level, and now my other one, it's a free ticket. It's a free lottery ticket. Worst case scenario, I'm knocked out for break even. Cool. Best case scenario is this trends and we go to a new all-time high and I get to be a part of the play for no risk. There's now no risk for me. Granted, if this one gets hit, it means I am down 1.2K on the day. But on the flip side, what if this runs and I can make a shitload of money today? So there's a couple ways to look at it. You never know when you're going to catch the big trend. And I'm hoping that today is obviously a big trend. All right. The Qs are about to make their red to green tests, so that's exciting. QQQ coming up on 572. If the Qs can hold above 572, that's a pretty big deal because we are getting very close to the top of this zone. Remember how I kept telling you, watch the initial reaction to Jerome Powell those first 10 minutes? This is the top of it. If the Nasdaq can sit above 23,575, that means the market legitimately thinks we should be higher from the point of Powell's speech on Friday. So to me, this is a very, very big aspect to the narrative of who's in control, and ES is actually already above it. So the SPY showing a little bit of relative strength. I like that. So let's wait and see how this plays out. All right, as we're waiting to see if we get this follow through or not, very quickly, a shout out to public. Make sure you read this disclosure, and basically you need to know when you engage in the market, there's legit risk. So please read the disclosure, pay attention to it. But most importantly, check out public. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. And my mod will drop it in chat right now. But if you're not on public, make sure to use that link. Using that link is very important because you're going to start out at a higher rebate tier. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's public is the only brokerage, at least that I know of, that every single time you trade an option contract, you get paid, you earn a rebate. So basically what they're doing is you're getting a cut of the payment for order flow that you're generating from your own trading. Generally, at least to my knowledge, most brokerages just keep that money. Public gives you a cut of yours back. So if you get in and out at the same price on something like the SPY, hypothetically, you wouldn't just be break even, you would actually be above because you earn the rebate. So obviously, I love it for option trading. Right now, they have $250,000 of my own dollars, and I'm afraid to look at my account today until we start pushing a little bit more. No commission fees, no per contract fees for stocks and ETFs. Of course, they have normal stock trading, no payment for order flow. They have bond trading, they have crypto trading, they have high yield accounts, they have retirement accounts, they have AI strategy generation. They have an API that you could do your algorithmic trading. It is absolutely phenomenal. So check it out. Like I said, shout out to public, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Use that link because you're going to start out at a higher rebate tier. I think there's 4 of them, and you're going to start a whole level higher by using that link. Obviously, free to download, free to sign up, free to check out. And I think as soon as you start messing around with it, you're going to see exactly why I like it so much. Obviously, a specialty shout out to public. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Pinned to the top of chat and also in the description of the video. Oh, the SPY, not yet wanting to really push above that 10 a.m. high. That initial reaction to the home sales, we pumped up a little bit of a fade, a follow through. So I'm just looking for it to hold this structure. Overall, we do now have higher highs and higher lows. You could probably see it better here on SPX. You can, if you want these triangles that just denote the recent highs and the recent lows, it's called fractals. Where is my, right here. Fractals, if you search on TradingView, Williams fractals, it's a free indicator. It's just, I find it's a good visual for me. I'm like, okay, I see the red, the red, the red, the red. It's generically trending up. I see the green. Well, this green is a lower high now, but before that, I saw a higher red, higher green. That tells me it's bullish. Just a very quick visual indicator. Now, recently, post 10 a.m. is getting a little bit questionable because technically that's a lower high. And if we take out this recent one, that's not so bueno. That is not so bueno, taking out 55 there. And we've having a bitch of a time getting above or really getting out of this transition zone. We've only spent a little bit of our trading below it and a little bit of our trading above it. How's the NASDAQ looking? The NASDAQ is now kind of flipping it. Earlier today when the SPY was looking better, look at this. The SPY just took a pretty hard hit the past 3 minutes while the Qs are holding somewhat fine. So maybe there's going to be enough in there. Uh-oh, the Qs just got hit a little bit. How is Tesla's daily chart looking right now? Tesla looking beautiful. Tesla going for a continuation on this technical breakout. From a technical level, I'd be paying attention to 349. It's this recent high on Wednesday, August the 13th. From an options level, I would be hang on. All right, I'm gonna have to reload all this stuff. Reload. Here. The SPY looks like we have some profit taking starting at 1010. The Mag 7 is once again looking strong. But anyway, specific to Tesla, let me give you some key levels here. Tesla. Okay, so Tesla. Oh, this is pretty easy. Tesla, we're currently trading at 341. If it can break above and hold above 340, that's a big win. And basically you're looking at 350, 355 right here. Clear target levels. That's where I assume these are calls. Yep, a lot of long calls targeting 350 and targeting 355. So you have support and you very much want it to hold over this hump of 340, and then right like a ball falling down the mountain, you pretty much have these interesting targets at 350, 355, and then the low vol part, the low rule, technically it's high volatility because it's the bottom right here, is actually 375. So it's pretty easy. You're watching it to close above, hold above 340, watch 350, watch 355, a break of that. As of right now, would be 370, 375. But remember, this is a snapshot, and obviously the markets are dynamic. People are trading, doing this, that, the other thing. So this could change at any point based on how people decide to trade. That's just the major thing I'm currently watching for, is holding 340, targeting 350, which does seemingly perfectly align with this recent high at 349. So that's going to be a big one. And then 57 is the next high. And then we're seeing quite a bit of open interest at 55. So really the open interest levels this time around are, the first one is almost perfectly aligned with this technical breakout. And then the next one is a slight undershoot of the next technical breakout. So those, for technical reasons and for options reasons, are the levels you should be watching on Tesla if you are currently trading Tesla. Tesla's going, Nvidia's looking decent. Netflix is having itself a day. Holy shit. Apple, okay. Nvidia's good. Avago's good. Microsoft's good. Tesla's good. Jesus. Nvidia's good. Remember earnings. All right. The NASDAQ is almost red to green, which means I'm actually making money somehow. You guys haven't heard me say that in a minute. Holy shit. Nothing like getting yourself into a fucking I was down 2.4K for no fucking like, how stupid. Like, why am I such a fucking retard some days? I figured at the age of 30, actually I'm now 31, I'm old as fuck. I figured at the age of 31, I would stop being surprised just because, hey, I've been around the block for 3 decades. I figured that, like, you know, I've seen some stuff and I know that I'm not going to know everything and maybe I'm still going to be surprised. But day in and day out, I'm still surprised with how stupid I could be, which is fascinating because if there's one person I know the most in this world, it's myself. I've lived with myself for over 3 decades. How at this point, after a 3-decade-long relationship with myself, am I still being surprised about how fucking retarded I could be? Like, how? How? Why am I always completely confounded by the fact that my intellect knows no bottom bound? Like, it's just diving. And sometimes I come in and I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy the dip on my dipshit intellect. And I buy that dip and it just keeps going down and down and down. You would think after 30 years of information that I would not be surprised by this anymore. And yet here I am. That's the craziest part of the day. That's the craziest thing. All right. Anyway, that was a very decent breakout. And I don't know, I'm roughly break even right now. Roughly. It makes me feel like I should be moving my stop up. Makes me feel like I should be moving my stop up. All right. We're going to use this low right there. 27. All right, I'm in at 92, stops at 27, and I would need to get out at 50 to be break even. So if this stop gets hit, I want to clarify, I will be red on the day. I'll just be much less red than I was this morning. I was down 2.4K. I would be down, I don't know, feels like we're about to find out, but I'd be down maybe $600, something like that, maybe $500. Well, we're literally about to find out. Anyway, I'm trying to ride the trend. If the trend is there, I'll get to stay in. If the trend stops, it's going to knock me out, and that should probably be it for me on the day. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping that this can hold. I'm hoping that we can break above 60 and target 20. Actually, I did have interesting target levels for us. 20. What was this? 68. Yeah. We actually almost just hit it right now. Just a 2 a.m. high, 23,568. We almost had to hit that. Oh, we hit 61. So we were off by like 7 points on that. So I kind of want to see us take out the top of this bar, because then that sets up a test of 23,607. So really my fingers are crossed that we could take this out, and then I could ride my, like, what I'm trying to ride, my runner. I want to ride my runner all the way up to 607. I want to ride it up to that high from basically, I guess, Sunday market open there. That would be a nice level. And then, of course, past that, you have Friday's high. But I think that goes without saying. But it looks like it's about to tag me out. Yeah. This is getting a little frothy in here. And if I didn't trade so poorly this morning, what I would be able to do, if I only took the one trade I was supposed to take, I'd be green to the tune of $800. I could have this one at break even, and I could literally step away and come back at whatever time. But no. The fact is I traded poorly, and now I don't have that leeway to literally just let this one ride. Had I waited for this one appropriate trade, I would have locked in whatever I locked in, and this one would be currently at break even, and I wouldn't have touched it, and I'll come back at 4 p.m. and just see where it's at. That's how I should have done it. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's the fun thing about trading, is you always look at it in hindsight, and you're like, why did I not just play it perfectly? Why am I so stupid? Dumb. All right, what time is it? It's 10:20, so we're kind of waiting for the initial balance. The initial balance is the first hour of trading from 9:30 to 10:30. You're looking at that high, you're looking at that low, and actually this
Order
is
filled.
Yeah, I just got knocked out there. All right, so instead of being down 2.4K, I'm only down 500. So, okay, I might have a shot. Maybe it pulls back 50% or something, maybe a little fib retracement, and then we catch another opportunity. Maybe, just maybe. We're going to find out here. A little bit of a pullback, looking for that higher low. Now, the reason I'm out is because you never know how deep the pullbacks are going to be, and the fact is that there's no pattern day trading when it comes to futures. So sometimes you get situations like this where it literally wicked me out. Fuck, I'm going to have to go long again here. Son of a bitch. Man, yeah, sometimes you get situations like this where it wicks you out and then it just goes right back. And that's a part of trading. If that's something that tilts you, you got to work on it, or maybe you just don't do it. But once again, that if I traded better this morning, I would have never been in this situation, because I would have only had that one good trade right here. I would have locked in, and then the other ones break even, and I would have never been, quote unquote, wicked out. But yeah, I just used some of these recent lows as my stop point. You could see it hit it right there, and now it's already seemingly bouncing, and it's just how it goes. It's how it goes. Sometimes you get lucky, other times you don't. But I have to tell you, if we start to build back up, I wouldn't mind that long at all, because guess what? My risk is well defined. It's the recent low. I believe I'm trading with the overall trend. And like I said, I think there's a real shot of seeing 23,607 today. I truly, truly do. That's that pre-market high. There's good odds of returning to that level. Is it a guarantee? No. But if I could ride that 50, so that's a 60-point return, risking 30. So it's a 2-to-1 reward to risk. So it's asymmetric in my favor. Asymmetric in my favor. We're just going to wait and see. Calm, cool, collected. I would love it if the SPY could gather itself a little bit better. That would definitely make me feel better about life right now. Also, how's Bitcoin doing? Dude, it's at 112. Jesus. I see NVIDIA picking up, maybe a little bit of a fake out breakdown. If NVIDIA can push 179.25, even Tesla up, pulls back, higher low, not a bad opportunity. Risk is well defined, and you're looking for that breakout run to 350. Man, frustrating. Frustrating. If only I didn't make that one dipshit trade. Every single day I just look up, I wake up and I look in the mirror and I see the guy who's ruining my life. I really do. I see the guy who's ruining my life. Come on, let's get this breakout. Let's get this technical breakout. All right, let's look at some of these key levels here. Let's do some sanity checks before I start trading again. It was trading too early that fucked me last time. All right, quite a bit of people trying to sell at 65, so I don't necessarily want to be going long right below 65. What else do we have? Mag 7 flow is still looking pretty strong. S&P 500 was strong until 1010, taking a bit of a breather, but maybe turning around right now. And then the NASDAQ also maybe turning around. All right.
Order filled. Order submitted.
How much am I risking here? 30.
Order submitted.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out if we're actually putting in this higher low. I'm trying to play this higher low. Overall, we saw a pump, consolidation, a little bit of a pullback, higher low. Let's see if we could get the follow through. Trying to give it a little bit of room to work. Sometimes if you have too close of risk, like just noise, like randomness can knock you out. But that's the trade-off. If you have like a legit stop that's farther away, well, then you're kind of sure when you're wrong, unfortunately, but generally that's when you take some of the bigger hits. So I'm hoping that we're not putting in a lower high right now. We definitely have a higher low. I'm hoping that we don't put in a lower high. So I'm trying to play it off this lower high right here at 1022 and this follow through. But of course, as before, the second I do a trade, the next bar fucks me up. But in terms of, okay, like obviously none of us have any control of how the trade's going to play out, but what you do have control of is, was it a good decision? So let's review that. Without us knowing if I'm going to make money or lose money, let's do a fair critique, a letter grade type of thing from A+ all the way down to F. Was this a good decision or not? Remember, trading is based on good decisions, not necessarily making money or losing money. That's a roundabout way to say you can make poor decisions and make money. You can make good decisions and lose money. So the making money part is out of your control. What is in your control is, did you make a good decision? So in my book, there's various things that I think you should be considered when making a good decision. So first of all, I like to pay attention to various things of how we're defining trend, and then I want to trade with the trend in the anticipation that the trend continues. That's kind of generically how I approach the market. So looking at the 1 minute chart here, you could say that the SPY did have higher highs and higher lows up until about 10:09 when it failed to make a higher high, but also it didn't really make lower lows. So you could say that the SPY is kind of consolidating. On the flip side, the Qs are clearly really, ever since the double bottom at 9:45 this morning, higher highs and higher lows, and we just put in the higher low here at 10:21, and inherently that's the higher low that I'm attempting to play off of, hoping that this just gets a follow through and we just go from red to green. So basically waited for a pullback, and unfortunately it wasn't that deep of a pullback, and we started popping, but it is what it is. So just generic price structure. I'm looking at the recent highs, the recent lows, and remember, you could put on fractals. So in terms of the good decision, bad decision, the Qs are clearly trending up. That's a good decision. Bad decision is the SPY is not really trending at all. So that's first thing, is this is not an A+ setup because we're not seeing both trends. So that's a fair thing to say. One thing that does help is some of the major tech players are looking good. Nvidia, higher highs, higher lows. Tesla, higher highs, higher lows. And we're actually looking for that breakout right now. So obviously one thing to consider. Then you can look at the momentum. Or are we above the EMAs? Yes, we are above, we are above, we are above, we are above. So across the board, the S&P 500 has good momentum. Looking at the NASDAQ, above, 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 above. Okay, so price structure on the SPY, questionable. Price structure on the Qs, good. Momentum-wise, all of them are bullish, all 8. The 4 on ES, the 4 on NQ. So momentum is good. Let's look at options flow. Options flow, Mag 7 is looking phenomenal ever since 947, clearly bullish. Looking at the NASDAQ, pretty good. Took a little bit of a breather, but maybe swinging back up here. It's a tough call, but it's more bullish than it is bearish. And then looking at the S&P 500, it was bullish pullback, and then recently we just got a little bit of a pop that I guess just got faded in like a microsecond for fucking no reason. So I was green then for a second. This might be a higher low that I could play off of. Not yet though, because this bar, like, we're literally less than 60 seconds removed from that bar, so I'm paying attention to this. But what I want to see is this F3? Yeah, F3. All right. I want to see us take this out because we might have a lower high here that popped and then quickly got rejected right back down to these EMAs. So for me to personally feel more comfortable, I want to ensure that this is not a lower high. Clearly we have higher lows, but when you have higher lows and lower highs, that's by definition consolidation. So to ensure that we're not in a consolidation phase, what I'm looking for is a break above this. And even if we consolidate, that's one thing. Breaking below this recent low would be a legit trend switch from bullish to bearish, which is exactly why my stop's there, because I don't want to be in it if by definition the trend is not trending the way I want it to. And the reason you could play it so aggressively is because, remember, there's no pattern day trading in futures. So like you might as well play it quote unquote safe, because all of a sudden if it reverses again, kind of like my trade did here, I got knocked out and then I got in a couple minutes later, you could do that. And do I wish that this pullback was a little bit more to VWAP? Yeah, because I think there's probably a lot of people shorting this, targeting VWAP, and unfortunately my stop's right above it. But it is what it is. You got to protect yourself and take it from a person who's made the misstep, fallen for the trap time and time again, where I'm like, no, I'm just going to give this one like a little bit more room. And before you know it, you had a small manageable loss that turns into something that is unmanageable and you blow out your account. I'm a guy who's made that mistake a lot. So that's exactly why I'm using this structure, because I want higher highs, I want higher lows. And I got this trade in at 25, and 4 minutes later, it's becoming a bit questionable. It's definitely becoming a bit questionable, because that might be a lower high, which is why I'm waiting for that trend line breakout. Had I gotten a better entry, I could put the stop to break even now, and if it gets hit, whatever, and then re-enter on the breakout. That's another strategy you could do. Okay, so we saw on options. For a second, it looked fine. It gave some of it back. The Mag 7, I thought, was looking pretty good. We could check in on the big players. The big players, that's not so much in my favor. They are slight net sellers today, but obviously very small relative to the amount of buying that they did on Friday. And then I do have another tool here to look at. For SPX, very much from a swing position, we are bullish above 6,400. We're currently trading at 6,455, so that's good. And there's big resistance at 6,500. So right now, SPX swing position, you want to stay above 6,400 to be bullish. And if you are bullish, be careful about a clear and like swift rejection at 6,500. And then let me check one more thing for all of you as we're discussing trend and flow and making good decisions versus bad decisions. Lot of resistance here on a 0 DTE perspective at like 6,475, which is about 20 points above us. And then we have support at 6,425. So that's more of a 0 DTE perspective. So overall, in terms of decision making, it's not an A+. It's not even an A's. I would give that trade a B, to be fair. Like in terms of, was I on the right side of it? Yes, I would argue that more things favor the bulls. And once again, this is not with respect to did you make money or not. It's with respect to did you properly evaluate it when making a trade. That's all you have the power to do. You can't make the market go up or down after you made your trade. All you can do is fairly judge why you got in and then the management of the trade. That's the only thing that is in our capability. So I would say everything that I just went through, it was a B trade. I don't think it was like perfect. I would say I would feel better. Oh, hang on. Well, if I waited, this was a little bit stronger and you probably had a little bit more reason because the SPY delta just started popping. But when I made the trade, when I made the decision, it was a little bit more questionable. The Mag 7's looking good. Actually, something just got a big bid on the Mag 7. Was it Tesla? No, it was not. Was it NVIDIA? It was NVIDIA. NVIDIA just got a big pop. Someone sold a lot of puts, selling puts. This wasn't someone purchasing calls. The delta went up because they sold negative delta, which has a positive delta effect. So the pop that we just saw in the Mag 7 here was someone selling puts on NVIDIA. Selling puts, it could be selling to open, it could be selling to close. To figure that out, you'd have to double check the open interest and obviously the strike and the expiration of the contract that was traded. But overall, the delta was going up because negative delta was removed from the system. Someone sold puts on NVIDIA, and that was that pop. That was that pop. All right, so I am still waiting for the Qs to, for the second time today, do a red to green test. That's a big psychological reaction. We almost got there at 10.16, but no cigar. And then I'm looking for the SPY to get above and hold above 644.50. So that's what I'm looking for on the SPY and the Qs. NVIDIA, huge pop, consolidating, looking for that breakout basically of 180. Tesla, same thing, looking for the breakout of 41, 42, the target being 50 and 55 from a swing perspective. Do I have... Yeah, okay. I mean, it did make this high. Once again, we're still continuing with the higher highs and higher lows, but I'm seeing a lot. Man, my fill was just high. Like, I wish I either waited and got in here or was earlier. Like, I kind of awkwardly straddled it. And once again, you don't know the next bars. I could have got in and it could have kept going. And then I'm like, well, what are you doing, man? Why didn't you get in when you first saw it? But seeing how it played out now, it feels like getting in at the 1032 bar or getting in a minute before on this break here at 1024 would have been a stronger play because I'm flirting with red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green. Part of me does want to take a risk off the table, but the other part of me knows that's like super, super close in price to do that. Part of me is thinking about moving my risk up to 32. I'm in at 48. That's 16 points. I have two contracts. That's 32. That's risking 640. I'm in the whole 500, so I'd be down 1,100, which is half of what I was down this morning. Part of me is really thinking about just going up to this, but maybe I don't have to worry about it. Maybe I don't have to worry about it at all. Remember, 68 is an interesting target. 68, that was the 4-hour, it's like the 2 a.m. high. 68, 69, and then the next one is all the way up here at 607. That's the Sunday evening market open high. So I'm watching 23607, and I'm watching 23568. So 568, pretty much just above where we were today, and then 607 would be the next one. I'm trying to scale out of one of my two, halfway in between those. Obviously, I'm betting on this breakout. I'm hoping that there's not only the breakout, but kind of like the outsized overreaction to it that quickly gets the fill. Then I move my stop to break even, and then I try to ride it up to the next target. That's generically my plan. Generically, my plan to manage the events. All right, well, while we're waiting to see if I'm going to be... Ooh, NVIDIA's catching a bid, folks. NVIDIA's catching a bid. I imagine if the SPY actually goes green today. It's not that crazy. It's only $1 away. It's only 10 points. We might be gearing up for another test of the gamma delta transition zone. It's at 60. And then from there, I want to see it push that at 67. So recent high 59, recent high 61, transition zone 60. So feels like this is going to be an important point for SPX. And then if it can push that, then your obvious next target is 67, the red to green move on SPX, which in reality, we're looking a little bit better on NDX with that. Looking a little bit better. The tech sector is much, much closer. In fact, it actually just smacked it in this last minute right there. All right, what did we hit? 65. Remember, 68 is the top of that 2 a.m. Where do we see? And people are trying to sell right at 70. No surprise. They're. I mean, I'm showing you in real time. They're putting their sitting orders right at a recent technical highs. They're literally just playing the 4-hour highs and lows, and that's it right here. That's why we have so many sitting sell orders. That's why we have so many sitting sell orders. It is what it is. All right, let's crush these guys. All right, well, while we're waiting to see if we can take out 70, Questions, comments, concerns. You guys want me to do a chart breakdown? Do you have questions about this heat map? Do you have questions about gamma, delta, spot gamma in a general sense of how to use it? My current positions, Apex, which, speaking of that, Apex, don't forget, you have 2 days left. Apex, code Goonie, 80% off evals with code Goonie, 2 days, 16 hours. That's in the description of the video. My mob will drop it in chat, but those are the accounts I'm trading with. Obviously right here, I have 20 of the Apex accounts. I have 5 of the Take Profit. I'm trading on 25 accounts. And I'm today doing a little mix of strategy trading and also manual trading. I don't know why. I don't necessarily think it's a good idea. But anyway, I like Apex because you can go all the way up to 20 accounts. And right now you could get a nice discount of 80% with that code Goonie. So if you're using a 50K account, it means for you to take the test, it's only like $34. So pretty affordable relative to what some of those max fees would normally be. We're struggling at this red to green move right here on the Qs. We are struggling. We haven't really gone enough for me to move my stop to break even because we haven't. But I could take some of my risk off the table. All right, I took a little bit of my risk off the table. So, if it's a bad bet, I could still get knocked and shit happens. But I figured the fact that we got the initial balance breakout, we have traded the first hour of the day from 9:30 to 10:30. When you break either that high or that low, the first hour, 9:30 to 10:30, or really the 9:30 to 10:30 bar is called the initial balance. And people like to trade either that breakout or that rejection or that breakdown or the fake out breakdown, that type of stuff. But you could see on the Qs, we just got that. So here at 10... Well, technically, what bar was this? That was 10:16. So technically, the breakout came at 10:36. We did get that break. It was quickly rejected. And let's hope that this isn't just a fake out. Let's hope we're just putting in a higher low and then we get the follow through. At this moment in time, the SPY has not broken his initial balance. We have not gotten the breakout or the breakdown. Fuck. Come on. What is this low? What is the exact 10:30 low? 10:30 right here. Oh, okay. I don't know. You never know. It's all, you're not. I think one part of trading is like day in and day out reminding yourself what you're in control of and what you're not in control of. I have no influence over how other people are going to be reacting to the initial balance breakout. In this situation, it looks like it could be a fake out breakout. I have no fucking clue. You're not in control of that. You're in control of when you get in and how you manage your play when you are in it. And I'm in the play, as we already did like a pretty thorough breakdown of it. I would say it was like a B setup. It wasn't an A, but it wasn't bad enough to be a C. I would say it was a B level setup. And for a second there, it was looking pretty good. And now I'm questioning it. And I'm also questioning if I should keep my risk where I initially wanted it down here at 18. The issue is that's quite a bit more risk, but then the chances of it getting hit are a lot lower. So that's always the trade-off is, am I willing to risk more money for a higher chance of my trade getting hit? That's the trade-off. That is the trade-off. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a pop here. Let's go to the 5 minute on all this stuff. Let's clean this up a bit so we can see what in the fuck is going on. Oh, Bitcoin. Dude, Bitcoin's 112. That's disgusting. The fact that I would love for it to be at 115, which means I would still be massively down, but the fact that I'm even here begging for it to be at 115, it's a sad sight. It's very much a sad sight. SPY has been range bound. Look at all these wicks up, wicks down, wicks up, wicks down, wicks up, wicks down. Bullish, 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 bullish. Mag 7 overall trending up. SPY overall trending up. Big players on the negative side, actually. That's a little surprising. 71 is a big NQ. This is for the NQ futures contract, taking out 23,571. That is very important. Actually, it's important enough that I'm going to mark that out just so I remember it myself right there. That was the recent high. We don't need this anymore. Remove that. We don't need this anymore. We did just break that. Fuck, that's not good. I was hoping we would hold this upsloping trend line. We did make a higher high, but now we're potentially making also lower lows. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, in fact. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Come on. Let's not crack these lows. Let's hold 33. Let's not do this, Tonto. Let's not do this, Tonto. Come on. Let's hold this. I'm kind of just looking at this like generic shelf right here. I mean, the buyer, if they're going to step in, they need to step in like, ooh, that's not a good look. There's someone really, really trying to get out at 49, 23,549 on the NQ contract. Someone's trying to dump quite a bit of size right there. That's not good. On the flip side, if we take it out, that means like the bulls are not fucking around, but that's a lot. 905 contracts. Someone's trying to dump at 48. We do have support here, though, at 18. Oh, they moved it. They just pulled that order. They punched it up to 55. So it was at 45, and they just moved it up to 55. And it's actually this. It's 900 contracts. That was, generally, we could kind of guess, like, is it the same play or not? And based on the fact that it's the exact same, someone had a chunk of 900 to sell at 45, and then they moved it up to 55, tells me that, I mean, like, what are the odds that two like non-related different players had the exact same size at the I think that's the same player. Once again, a little bit of guesswork, a little bit of detective work, but I doubt that is two different players. Could be, but to me it looks like they took the 900 right here trying to sell at 48 and they moved it up to 55. Chunk of 900, chunk of 900. Which if they're doing that, makes us feel that we're at least going to try to recapture 50, but who knows? Quite a few buyers down here at 20, which that's right where my order is. That's literally right where I wonder if I should move mine to the other side of VWAP to see if I can be protected. I didn't notice that before, but my stop was like right where this is. I wonder if they're going to knock that. Oh, and it just got pulled. Son of a bitch. Literally just got pulled. That's probably not the best sign. Come on, don't come down here. Just go up to this guy. Maybe they pulled it to do market orders to get it to pop up. Let's try to be optimistic about it. Oh, not looking the best. Not looking the best. Looking choppy, looking sideways. Come on, let's just make it an easy day. Why can't we just have a nice, easy day? The SPY is doing nothing, folks. We have all these wicks down here at 64380. Look at all those wicks. Really a lot of wicks up here, too, at 64425. Look at a crazy amount of wicks on the SPY. NVIDIA's looking decent. Tesla's looking pretty decent. Netflix also looking decent. Apple looking decent. Avago looking decent, Microsoft looking decent, Tesla, coins even recovering. MicroStrategy had a decent recovery. Palantir's having a decent recovery. Meta's not doing anything. Hood bounced a little. It's trying to fight. The market's trying to fight its way back up. But it feels like every time we make 2 steps forward, we're taking like 1 3/4 steps back. Like we're slowly grinding, but it's kind of in like a weird volatile manner. Oh, I don't know. What is the right play today? What should I do? What should I do? Am I making a good decision? Piper, I need you. You guys didn't know this, but Piper's sleeping right here today. Yo, what's up? What do I do with this trade? Your meow mix depends on it. Her meow mix. Do I want to use this recent low? It did respect 30s as of now. I'm almost back to net green on the day. I think I just need patience. Remember, big money is made from big moves. Inherently, to have a big move, it's a function of time. If you want to make big money, you most likely need to be in the market for more time. Come on. Let's actually see how this guy is going. They pulled that order too. So the support and the resistance got pulled. They're no longer there. They're no longer there. Interesting. Interesting. Someone is trying to sell at 75 though. That's, 75. That is that major breakout. 75. I marked it out 71, but what that person's trying to sell at, if I had to, well, hang on, let me put NVIDIA back up, is right here. They're trying to sell right past this, the breakout from the Jerome Powell reaction. That's this sitting order right there, 75. Oh, it makes me wonder if I should be moving my profit target to there just in case there's a rejection. Support coming in at 30. Ooh, moving up. Ooh, moving all over. Holy shit. Is this guy on coke? What the fuck? Chill out, dude. It's going to be okay. What the fuck are you doing, brother? Are you guys seeing this? That guy has no... Where is he moving this order to? Dude, it's all... Chill. Brother. What the fuck are you doing? Dude, you guys are seeing this, right? Am I the one who's on drugs right now? All right, he finally calmed down. It feels like whoever that trader was just railing a couple lines. Railing a couple lines. All right, we are officially testing that breakout. I was hoping for the quick blow off top to get a fill on my first one. And then I just want to move my stop to break even. And we'll see how it goes. Oh, fuck. Remember when I was saying, should I take my profits right there? Fuck. It's okay, Tonto. It's okay, Tonto. Yep, smacked right there, dude. Right at the Jerome Powell high. Right on that announcement high. All those fuckers put in their orders. That was a smart play. That one was on me for being a little greedy. I should have undershot it by a point. I should have put mine in at like somewhere between 70 and 75 and filled in one, set the other one to break even and move on with my life. I was hoping that, oh shit. I was hoping that we'd have a slight overreaction and I could get that fill at 80. Just like a little blow off top type of a situation, but no. Come on, take it out. And then we have 85. So my fill at 80 should be easy if we could take out 75. If we could take out 75. That's a big if. That's a big if. I always thought it would be cool to have enough money to move in the market when I trade. That is some big D energy for sure. Yeah, that would be wild knowing that you are literally like a market mover. All right, so I'm seeing this resistance at 75 and the next one at 85, which actually means if we get the break, we might as well take 3 more points of profit, move it up to 83 because resistance here, resistance there. What's the point in playing in the middle? Might as well make an extra $60. Yeah, we're right at that zone. SPY's waking up. The Qs are officially back in the green. NVIDIA's going. Tesla. Bitcoin. Come on. Bitcoin, just get up to like 116, 117. Please don't make me like cry myself to sleep. Bullish. Sanity check, SPY popped. Mag 7 is looking decent. We're getting a little bit of a flag here. Oh, a lot of people targeted. That's a smart play. I can't even hate on them. That's a smart play. I 100% understand why they sold in this 5-point region. Yeah, now you have even more people trying to sell it at 70. They're kind of walking it down. I can't be mad at that. Like, I 100% understand it. I'm just hoping that there's enough aggressive buying to fill that sell side liquidity and then give us a follow through. Yeah. That's you can't be mad about that type of a thing. That was pretty fucking evident. Pretty evident. Trump's live. Yeah, I believe he's signing executive orders today. So I don't think it's going to be, I don't know. On Friday when we sat around waiting for him to do something, it was just about FIFA. So I'm not really the biggest fan of just waiting around because I think a lot of his stuff, like it's not market related because obviously as president you have other things going on as well. All right. Wouldn't mind the bounce here because then I can at least move my stop up if I want to. Well, hang on. Do I actually want to do that? If we take out 70 again, I think I would. Yeah. So this little patch of selling here, these 1, 2, 3 bars in a row, if we could take that out, 65, 70, somewhere in here, if we could push up here and get a close above there, I wouldn't mind moving my stop up and just taking all risk off the table. I've been in this trade for a good amount. And honestly, even I'm red on the day, but the fact that I dug myself out of the hole, I'm pretty proud about that. Especially because the first one was the bot trade, and that like kind of fucked me up. That put me in the hole, a good like 1,500 or something like that. So if I didn't do that bot trade, I would actually be net ahead right now. But hey, coulda, woulda, shoulda. The second bot trade hit, so can't cry over spilled milk that's already under the bridge. You know, that's on the it's on the table that is now turned. Yeah, we still, oh, dude, they're fucking lining it up. 70, 75, 80, 85, every 5 points. Now they even flash it at 65 for a second. You shall not pass. Yeah, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. 70 and 90 have a good chunk. Little less. This is a big zone. Yeah, when you zoom out, yeah, 90's big and 70's big, and now it's getting clipped. Fuck. I just need a strong follow through. I need this to be a higher low. Obviously, I can't have it take out these recent lows. I'm still, that's what I'm like kind of iffy about. Is I identified this as a key level, probably should have scaled out of one there. I really just thought there'd be that like quick up, like wick up, and then it gets tested. And at that point, I wouldn't have cared because I could have moved my stop to break even and like whatever, life is fine. But now I have to deal with this. Fuck. Open door is running. I really like, I don't find those plays to be that interesting because they're just such evident pump and dumps. And like, I know some people in the audience, you're going to play it well and you're going to respect your risk and you're going to be able to ride it and make money, whether the trend is bullish or bearish. But you have to understand when there's pump and dumps like that, there's also newer people in the audience who don't understand how to play it, and they're going to throw money in it and they're going to overstay their welcome and they're going to get blown out. So like, it's just, I don't really individually have much joy covering those because within the audience we have such a wide array of skill levels when trading, and I think some of you, when you see that, you're gonna be like, okay, it's a pump and dump, I know how to protect myself, I'll take advantage of it. And if you can make money off of it, like, have at it, don't let me stop you. But you have to also understand, if you're one of those people, there's other people in the audience who are like, well, just if people are talking about, I'm going to throw money into it, and they're not going to use the same risk protection that you are. Open is a pump and dump. It's being orchestrated by that Eric fuckhead on Twitter for anyone who's reading about it. And hey, you can make a lot of money off pump and dumps. I'm not telling you you're going to lose money on pump and dumps. I'm going to say a lot of you would lose money on pump and dumps, but some of you in here, that might be your specialty, and you might be really, really, really good at it, like super good at it. So if you are one of those people, don't let me stop you. But in being on this side of the camera, I also have to consider the big disparity in skill sets within the community. And I mean, like, we've seen them time and time again. So is it up? I mean, I'll throw it up just to see what's going on. But yeah, dude, it's a pump and dump. This has, like, does this look any different than any of the other pump and dumps that we've talked about? No, because it is a pump and dump. If you got in with low risk and you're riding it, dude, have at it. Ride the trend as long as you think it's going to last. But when the trend starts to break down, don't overstay your welcome. That's on the retail side of things, that's one of the biggest issues I see is people, they get in the right position, it goes and it goes and it goes, and then it starts to pull back, and then they're mad that they didn't get out at its like optimal value, so then they overstay their welcome, and then before you know it, it goes back to break even, or worst case, it goes red. So they go from this amazing green trade, trend breaks down, they refuse to admit it, and then all of a sudden, what? Then they lose money on it? So like, whatever. If you want to trade it. But, well, right now, I wouldn't go long or short. Long, your entry was on Friday on this breakout, risking the recent low. And you don't go short on pump and dumps because you don't know how much they're going to pump. You have to wait for the first red day breaking down below the previous low on lower volume. You want a price breakdown and volume exhaustion. So right now, on open, if you don't already have a position, currently, I don't think there's a good play. Your risk is too far away to go long, and your risk is really undefined right now if you go short. So as of this exact moment, as of 11 a.m. on Monday, the 25th, I don't see the long or short here. I see the last time I saw a trade would have been this breakout on Friday, the long at 370, risking 30, like risking $3, risking 70 cents. On this follow through at this point, I would have put my stop to break even, and I would be just riding the trend. That's how I would have traded it if I decided to get involved. But I'm not going to get involved. It's just a pump and dump. The way it's pumped and dumped before, I'm looking for another pump and dump. Like, I think that's how it goes. I think that's how it goes. And speaking of pumping, am I going to get lucky this time around? Where are we selling? 80 and 80. So there are people now at 80. I might have to move mine back down to 80 because I don't want to get rejected. This is just for one of my two. Nvidia's looking good. Tesla's looking good. SPY is also picking up. I'm going to set an alert on the initial balance breakout on the SPY and the Qs. Come on. Let's get this fill. Ah, oh, come on. No, don't get rejected there for the second time. I don't see a crazy amount of orders. I put my order right at this one. I don't want to make the same mistake. Fuck. I don't want to make that same mistake again. Come on. Just build it up, take out 75, pump it to 80. I'm trying to get out right there at that level. But it is having a tough time with this follow through as of now. I could theoretically, because I've been in this trade for a minute, I could theoretically move my risk to that recent low, and then I would only have a baby amount of risk. A baby amount of risk. It's not the worst idea. It's not the worst idea. Well, let's see if this one gets hit. Gets me officially back in the green on the day. Come on. Dude, what do we hit? 78. Yeah. Other people are having the same idea I am. Come on. Don't do this to us. Don't do this to us. Take it out. 77. Come on. You could do it. You could do it. Fuck. It really does not want to fill these people. What did we hit? 78. Okay, we got some buyers there, giving us a little bit of support. We're kind of in this range. Which one's going to break first? These sellers or these buyers? Who's going to break first? We're getting real close to those buyers. Oh, maybe that was some people who just took the shorts off this, just going for a quick 10-point trade. Not the worst idea. Not my favorite trade, but I kind of get it. I could kind of see people shorting right here and then just going for a quick 10 points. Like I said, they just identified resistance. That was probably had minimal risk. They had good reward. They already got their fill. It could have been right here. This trader could have been short. They could have filled, and now we could bounce right back up. I wouldn't be surprised if this player right at 1101 got connected here. Wouldn't be surprised, but okay, fine. We're building up. And just so you know, quite a bit of resistance and whatnot above this. So from 80, it looks like there's a lot between 89 and 90. A lot of the next level up here. If you don't care about this level that is about to get tested, the next level is right up there, 89 to 90. No. How close did that get? It tapped me. I just didn't get my fill. Is it going to be one of those days? Is it going to be one of those days where... No, dude, right? They're not going to do that to me. They wouldn't do that to old Mateo, right? They wouldn't have done that to old Mateo. It's not like the market makers are watching my show. They wouldn't do that to old Mateo. Hey, on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Order
All right,
filled.
nice, cool, locked it in the green on the day, moving my stop to break. Oop, hang on.
Order canceled.
So somewhere. Okay.
Order submitted.
So I'm long at 48.50. My stop is at 48.75. I now have a runner. This one, 60% of the time, they get knocked out for break even. That is the expectation. But 1/3 of the time, 40-ish% of the time, when you catch a runner, you really catch a runner. So it's a free play. It's a lotto ticket play. I'm taking no risk. The stop is at break even. I don't mind because I'm already green on the day. Generally, if I'm not, I have to play it a little bit more defensively. But as you can see, I'm up. If I were to get out right now, I'd be up about $700 per account. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's kind of it for me. Now I have a runner. I have a runner in, which I probably... 607 is that key level. I might take it out at 607, or I might just ride it to 4 p.m. Or I might just look at structural lows, I suppose. But this is a nice bullish recovery. I don't know. I have to decide how I'm going to handle it. I'll talk about it in the Discord with all those people. But just for you on stream, you can see where I'm at. Locked in, positive. Current one, I'm worth 700-800. We're getting a little bit of a pop. I told you the next level is 23,607. That's an important technical high. Where are we at over here? The SPY is breaking out. The Qs are breaking out. NVIDIA is looking decent. Tesla is kind of going flat, not really doing anything. Netflix is looking good. Apple's looking good. How's Microsoft? Microsoft's looking cool. Okay, so the top 3 biggest stocks in the world are all looking pretty decent right now. You have NVIDIA, the biggest in the world, pumping. You have Microsoft also looking good, and Apple. So 1, 2, and 3, the top 3 biggest stocks, all in the tech sector, looking pretty decent. Just kind of, oh, and even right there, wait, what did Tesla? Tesla is trying to hold green. Interesting. All right, Mag 7, the Delta's pumping. SPY, the Delta is pumping. The big guys, they are net sellers. That freaks me out a little bit, just a tiny bit, but we'll see what happens with those guys. Anything else? Oh, remember Apex, if you want an account, you could get up to 20. Use that code Goonie to get 80% off. But more important than that is don't forget to download Public. Free to download, free to sign up, free to check out. I think you're really going to like it. Pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video. Make sure you use that link because you're going to start off at a higher rebate tier. You're going to start earning more money more rapidly. And later on today on Twitter, I'll let you guys know how this position goes. Honestly, obviously I want to be transparent and whatnot with all of you. And I just wanted to let you know kind of where I'm at with all of this. So I'll post it up on Twitter of how this one ends. But as long as I don't horrifically fuck something up, I shouldn't be in the red because I already have a realized green and the stop's at break even. And I just want to see it test 607, 23,607, and then see how it goes from there. And the reason why I want it that level, that is the market open Sunday night at 6 p.m. That's the high, 23,607 right here. So when we opened up, that's exactly where I care, or it's just the high from really the post market on Friday. So I do like that we recaptured the J Powell level here. on both ES and on NQ. They're holding above. If it gets knocked back in, then it gets a little bit more choppy. It's not necessarily bearish, but it wouldn't make me as optimistic as I am right now. So overall, I really want it. SPX has been having the worst time getting out of this area. If it does get out, your obvious target is 6.7. That is the red to green test. And then from there, 75 up to 81, which is the all-time high. And then past that, if we have a runner today, 6,500. But as of right now, we've spent an hour and a half just in this choppy gamma delta zone, which, I mean, if you don't believe me, go to the start of the show. This exact zone I called out to all of you before the market even opened, so no one should be sitting there surprised of like this. And really, it's not this type of thing when people make these call outs. If you're new to the market, it almost seems like just like some amazing call out, and how could you possibly do that? And a lot of people try to I don't know, cover it up in pageantry and think it's special, some variant of rocket surgery. Folks, these levels and these types of callouts, they're not that special. If you put a little bit of effort into understanding delta flow, gamma impact, open interest levels, basic technicals, you could do this as well. This is not like a specialty thing. So as much as people might want to sell you a $10,000 course to do this, in all reality, you could learn to do it for 100% free if you have, I don't know, the follow through and the drive to just keep studying. Anyway, that's what I have for you right now. Show a little bit of love to Public, show a little bit of love to Apex. For Public, use the link pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And on Apex, don't forget to use that coupon code GOONY. For the rest of the day, obviously, pay attention to the trend, pay attention to the flow, look at those key levels. Don't forget the overall picture and the smaller picture. It helps when they're all kind of in alignment with each other. We will be posting a video later on today, kind of an update video of anything that I think is important for you guys to know. And then we're going to be streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early. And in the meantime, if you want to hang out in the Discord, we'd love to see you there. Your first month is free when you're signing up if you use that code GOONY. That's what I have for you guys. I appreciate all the good vibes. I hope you made already a lot of money this morning, and I hope you make even more money later on today. That's what I have for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace.